Welcome. I've been really enjoying the smorgasbord of retro-style modern games we've been receiving lately. I've been getting a lot of them on the Switch, but they're on multiple consoles, so I thought what I'd do is put a little list together of the favourite ones I've played recently, let you know all about them. Hopefully, there'll be a few games on here that you've not heard of that I can tempt you to give a go to. The majority of these are either indie games or from smaller studios, but they're every bit as good as a AAA game. Let's kick off with number 1, Hotline Miami. This is actually the oldest game on this list. It came out originally in 2012. However, it's been re-released and re-released, so it's available on pretty much every console you can think of now. It's been praised universally for its soundtrack, psychedelic colours, its narrative interlaced with dark humour, and has become a bit of a cult success video game. It's not all perfect. It can be mind-bogglingly frustrating because you take one shot and you're dead. But that's the beauty and the design of the game as well. You don't just get to breeze through levels nice and easily using health packs. You have to go again and again and again. The further you get into the game, the more difficult it gets. But it's always great fun and a real sense of achievement after you've kept trying and trying, when you finally complete that level, take them all out, get a nice dark humoured cutscene and move on to the next. This next one is only available on Switch and PC as far as I know. It is Heaven's Dust 2. The reason I'm recommending the second one rather than the first is just because, in my opinion, it is substantially better. However, if you want to play the first one and you can get it on sale, absolutely by all means. It's just I feel the second one really shines. It's a very clear homage to Resident Evil. It's got an isometric view, very similar controls from the early Resident Evil games. Just for example, you can't move while shooting, you have to stop to aim. It does have a bit of auto aim in there, so it's a little bit easier than the original. You've got all the survival horror tropes that you can imagine, limited resources to manage, limited ammunition, boss battles. Some of them are actually really quite tough until you figure out their weaknesses. Once you do, then you're okay. But that's all part of the charm. It might not be quite as scary as Resident Evil due to the fact it's got the retro art style, but it is every bit a survival horror gem. And if you like that style of game, I strongly encourage you to give this one a go. I'm not going to talk a great deal about this next one because I recently made a video about it. I'll put a link on the end card if you want to check it out. One of my favourite games I've played, not just this year, but ever. Unmetal. This is basically a parody of the early Metal Gear games, but don't worry if you've not played them, you'll still get it, you'll still enjoy it completely, I promise you faithfully. It's got stealth elements, it's got action elements, you're shooting, you're sneaking. The story is absolutely bonkers but hilarious. It's the only game I've ever played where I completed it and instantly set it to a harder difficulty and replayed it all the way through a second time. It was just that good, I didn't want to play anything else after finishing it, so I just played it again. I absolutely love this game. The dialogue choices, every interaction your character has with somebody else is just absolutely hilarious. Combine that with some fantastic gameplay and you have got one of the ultimate indie, modern retro, classic games. Everybody needs to play this game. Can't praise it enough. Moving on to what I feel might be a bit more of a Marmite style of game. You're either going to love this or hate it. Beat Cop. This came out in 2017. Again, it's available on pretty much everything. And it's a reimagining, or at least strongly inspired by, 1980s cop shows. You can see that in the dialogue, the style and everything. They actually set it purposely, so when you're walking your beat, you have too much to do. There's not enough time to complete everything that happens. So you have to prioritise and choose. You also, as you're playing along in the game, get the choice of what sort of cop do you want to be. Are you going to be honest and above board, or are you going to take a bribe for a parking ticket? Are you going to align yourself with a particular faction? What are you going to do? It really is within your complete and utter total control. Choose a side with one faction over another, but still you have to keep the peace on your beat between them both. Get to know a variety of absolutely bonkers but very entertaining characters on your beat. It's a really good, fun game. I wouldn't go so far as to say simulator, it's a little bit more action-packed than that, but equally it's a slower pace. It's all about the storytelling, this one. I enjoy it personally. I would encourage you to check it out for yourselves. Maybe watch some videos of some gameplay through and decide if it's one for you. It'll either hook you instantly or you'll decide it's not there. Let me know which one you are in the comments. If you like this style of game, I dare say the next one won't require any introduction. It's pixel art 16-bit Grand Theft Auto. I'm talking about Shapedown Hawaii. And it is just absolutely brilliant. This is on, again, pretty much everything. PS3, PS4, PS5, Windows, Switch, Wii U, 3DS. The only thing it's really not on is any of the Xbox consoles, as far as I know. It's an open world with one of the Hawaiian islands. The humour is absolutely on point. It's a bit of a send-up of GTA, but equally just its own sense of humour within the story. You play with a top-down view, and you take turns as one of 3 of the main characters throughout the story. As the name suggests, you do shake down all the local businesses over time to take over the island. The more you shake down, the more income you get each month, the more you can spend it on to make the game more enticing and more enjoyable for yourself, and of course, to hit all the objectives. If you like open world games, give this one a go. It regularly goes on sale. I think I picked it up for around £2, which for the hours of fun I had was one of the best bargains of the year. Shapedown Hawaii is 16-bit GTA. What more do you need to know? We're at the halfway point now and I'm going to be really annoying and ask if you'd mind terribly pressing the like button, or maybe even subscribing. No pressure, but it'd help me out a lot. Next up, we have Guns, Gore and Canoli. I stumbled upon this one, again just going through what was on sale on the Nintendo Switch eShop, although it is available on most consoles to be fair. There's 2 games here. I do recommend playing them in order because the story carries directly on from the end of the first one to the second one. So you'll get it if you just play the second one, but then you might not play the first and you'll miss out because both of these games are awesome. It's full on, over the top, arcade, fast paced, side scrolling shooter action all the way through. You're playing as Vinny, a mobster with a very dry sense of humour, sent to an unnamed city, or a city whose name I can't remember, not sure on that one, on a mission for the mob. And, uh-oh, zombie outbreak! What are you going to do? Well, it's quite easy. You're going to pick up every single gun you can find, shoot a hail of bullets at anything that dares approach you, and blast your way out of there. On the way, you'll discover little bits about what caused the zombie outbreak. You will get involved with the story and the characters, whether it's because you're intrigued to know what's happening next or you just want to keep laughing. Love this game. If you want a bit of over-the-top, side-scrolling shooting action, this is definitely one to remember. Speaking of over-the-top, this next game has more testosterone than an entire football team put together. It is Broforce. It is a send-up, in a way, of the 80s action movies. It is so over the top, it is ridiculous. Every single character is something bro. You get a Terminator bro, Robo Bro, which is RoboCop, Rambo, Ash from the Evil Dead, and many more that I can't remember right now. It is so over the top, it is brilliant, and the action never ever stops. If you want something that is just quick, intense action that you can pick up and put down, or just get lost in for an hour, this is the one for you. It has fully destructible environments, something which makes this game stand out and is quite unique. It is all about the combat, and it is an absolute joy. Every time you save a POW, a prisoner of war, then you get an extra life and you change your character, which is initially a little bit annoying because you'll get settled in with someone and think, well, I'm getting to know him, I want to stick with him. But that randomness helps keep it entertaining because you never know who you're going to discover next, what they're going to do, and then how you're going to use it. Also, it's just good fun because the names are really funny. It can be tough as nails once you get past the halfway point of the game, but it's worth it because it is just good fun. And that destructible environment helps make it stand out against, dare I say, many others in the space. If you like your old school shooters like Contra and you want a little bit of humour in there and a modern title, this is the one for you. Let's take a little bit of a break from your standard side-scrolling shooters and go for something of a real-time tactics game. I'm talking about Dog Duty. If you ever played some of the Command & Conquer games, you'll remember you had 2 types of missions. You had the ones where you build the bases, and you had the ones where you're given a limited force that you control throughout a mission. This is like the latter. So you take control of a 3-man guerrilla combat squad. You're in an unnamed location, hopping between islands. It seems to be controlled by an evil dictatorship, so you're going to liberate it with guns and bullets. You can control each character either individually or control them as a group. You order them where to go, where to shoot, what to do. You can take over turrets, you can shoot from advantages. You can play it strategically, where you have your sniper taking people out from a distance, or you can go in all guns blazing. You also have your own vehicles in this as well. You can customise them and put turrets on there that shoot flames or bullets or whatever you can find, and you can have combat whilst driving the vehicle. I thoroughly enjoyed this. As someone who really misses the Command and Conquer games, this scratched that itch and also made it stand out as its own thing as well, because it was just done so well. Okay, you're not building a base, but you know what? That was always the slow bit. This is just action, action, action. And it looks really good too. My last side-scrolling shooter on this list, and it is an absolute gem. It is Hunt Down. This was only released in 2020. It is a pure run and gun shooter. Side-scrolling, of course. You can choose one of 3 characters. You go across each level. Your aim is quite simple. Go from one side to the other, defeating every enemy in your wake before they kill you. You can get improvised weapons, such as baseball bats wrapped in barbed wire, or motorbikes. Yes, you can throw those at people. You can get proper weapons, of course, as well, such as your primary gun and your secondary weapon. You get bosses at the end of each level, some of them quite challenging, but always a feeling of triumph once defeated. It's set in a future after the Third World War. The nations have been replaced by corporations, society is fueled by greed, bounty hunters are abound, and you're one of them. There are 4 street gangs warring for supremacy, but if you have your way, you're going to take every single one of them out. Old school shooting done right. Really good game. These next 3, I'm pushing my luck a little bit saying a modern retro. They might be a little bit more on the modern side, but they're really good, so treat them as honorary mentions. First of all, Dave the Diver. I'm going to quickly mention this because I've got a full video coming on it, hopefully Friday. It is absolutely superb. I tried the free demo, not expecting to like it. And it is really hard to pitch, especially in 30 to 60 seconds. But it is such good fun. From the start to the finish, it's like your favourite action RPG mixed in with some cosy mechanics. I honestly cannot recommend this game enough. I love delving into the deep, briny sea. I love all the characters, the story, the action, and I even like the bits in between the action where you're running the restaurant. Strongly suggest you check out the free demo on this one. This is available on PC and on Switch. Next up, a video I recently made, actually within the last 2 weeks, so again, short one, SteamWorld Dig. Part of the SteamWorld series, but not turn-based. You take on the role as Rusty in a world run by steampunk, steam-powered robots. You've inherited a mine from your late uncle, so you grab a pickaxe, you grab an oil lamp, you head down there, and there is so much to discover. I don't think I could sum it all up in the time I've got. All I'm going to say is, the story's great, the gameplay is absolutely superb, it's unique, it's different, it's fun, it's worth playing. Or at least, you know, checking out my full video on it. And finally, a game formerly known as Golf Club Wasteland, now known as Golf Club Nostalgia, because reasons. This is a short game, you'll get through it in a couple of hours quite easily, but again, just good fun. There's actually quite a deep, moving story, but putting that to the side, because I can't tell you about it without spoilers, and I don't do spoilers, the golf mechanics are really good. The physics works perfectly. Each map you get is a desolated area of Earth, and playing over the obstacles, which is the ruins of the old society, it's just done absolutely brilliantly. It's really good fun, perfect pick up and put down play. Can't recommend it enough. So that's my list of my favourite modern retro. Let me know what you think. Have you played any of them, and do you agree with me that they're good? Or do you disagree? Because there's no right or wrong answers here, as long as you're having fun playing your games. Also, let me know of any titles that you think should have gone on this list. 1, because I might do a part 2, and 2, I've pretty much completed all of those, and I'm looking for some new games to play in the same style. Thank you very much for watching, really appreciate your time, and as always, I'll see you soon. Ta-da!